Hello students, welcome back. In this video, I will be demonstrating on how you are going to be working on your Criterion A planning for your MYP Personal Project. So let's start. Now, for the Criterion A planning, there are two goals that you need to do. One is the learning goal and the other one is product. So all in all, in the MYP Personal Project, you are going to set two things, learning goal and personal product. So for Criterion A, there are three strands that you are going to complete. I am going to name them A1, A2, and A3 so that it is easier for you to look into the strands. So for A1, state the learning goal of your project and explain how the personal interests lead to your goal. So basically, you are going to tell us that what is your learning goal, and then you are going to explain your passion, where you are going to lead into that goal. Now, and then for A2, state the intended product and develop appropriate success criteria for the product. So basically, you are going to make a plan and then create your success criteria. Next, A3, present a clear, detailed plan in achieving the product and associated success criteria. So you need to create a planning for your holistic product. So, some of the example for supporting evidence can include in this list. Please look at the outline to make sure that you understand every single step of them. Now let's start. So a personal project is sustained inquiry project. So it means that it is sustaining, that you are passionate about it and you are continually working on it in several months. Okay. It is important that you have a challenging and it sustain your interest. So it means you need to be interested in your topic and then it will lead to your lifelong learning. So ask yourself, what do I want to achieve for this personal project? What do you want to do? Okay. And what I want to others to understand about the work. Okay. So it means that you are going to demonstrate what you're really passionate about and then how you're going to show everybody that you understand clearly in this project. And then what is the impact that I want to have in your project? So it means that it's either impact to yourself or impact to the community. And then what it excites you. So that is the most important part, I think, that you need to understand. Why you think that it is important for you as a student to create this project. What is your passion with this project? So in the planning, what are you going to do for this one? First, you are going to set your goal, and then you are going to tell me what is the product goal. Then you'll create your success criteria. Then you are going to be looking into how you are going to achieve. So it means you are going to make a plan. So ask yourself, what is my goal? Now, in your personal project, you need to look into what will showcase your ability. So you need to demonstrate your growth, and then it should be personal, engaging, and challenging. So you need to pick a topic that challenges you as a person and develop your skills. So, what kind of product you want to do, what kind of learning goal you want to do, and what kind of things that other people should learn from you also, and then what kind of impact, as I said before. Okay? So, there's two main focus on this project. One is the learning goal, and the other one is product. For example, you want to learn Japanese, and then you need to think about what kind of product you want to make. So, for example, here to create children's book with Japanese and English. So, this is your learning goal, learn Japanese, and then the product is to make a book. So, think about what is your learning goal for this project, and then what kind of product do you want to produce. Okay? So, setting the goal. The personal project is truly on your own. So it is about your own goal and something that you find interesting for yourself. So look into the global context, the what is the service action, and what is the inquiry in your own future. So future exploration. So you may look into how it is drawn in a holistic way on what is your passion in towards attaining a goal. Now, for this one, you need to look into two separate things: what you want to learn and what you want to create. So overall, the personal projects will be look into two goals: learning and product. Okay, I'll repeat it again and again. Now, so product is about your creation, and your learning goal is about what you are going to learn throughout this project. Now, here are some examples as I mentioned in the introduction. So we're going back to this one, to a learning goal, to the product, and then product, and to the learning goal. So they are interrelated. Okay. Okay, students might want to start with product goal. So think about the product that you want to create, and then what kind of context you want to put it into your product. Okay, so or students can also look into the learning goal, and then what they don't want to learn, and then what kind of product they want to produce. Okay, so both are okay. Okay. For example, if your learning goal is to find out more about making a personal computer, what kind of product goals do you see? So maybe you want to source components, okay, sourcing component to make computer, okay, instructions on manual in making how to build a computer, and then developing affordable PC for local community. So these are the possible products that you want to set. So think about what you want to do. If you want to create a product itself, maybe for example, if your product goal is to create a plant-based food, then what kind of learning goals you want to set? So these are examples of what you can set for the learning goal. So think about different things that you are interested in and passionate about. Now, here are some guiding questions. What have you always wanted to do? What do you do in your free time? What would you like to do in your free time? So those are the things that you are personally involved in, okay? So what kind of IB learner profile you are going to describe for best fit for yourself, or you want to develop for yourself? What kind of global context you are interested the most? So interdisciplinary or design project that you are interested in the most. So you know that we have design projects that you can also look into or explore even more. Now, what experience, service, action that you most satisfying? Okay, so those are the things that maybe you want to look into the guiding questions. Not these are not limited to only this one, but you can develop from these questions. Okay. So let's brainstorm. So here, combine a learning goal, a strength, and ATL skill, and a clear product. So for example, animation to organize, or Roman rights, and then tech. So here is the learning goal. I will create an animation about Roman rights in Macedonia that communicates the current situation in an organized manner. So this is the learning goal might that you might want to consider. So in your own, can you please pause the video and then create a learning goal that you would want to create for yourself? All right. So I think that you have enough time to think about or conceptualize what you are going to be working on. All right. So here are some guiding questions that you might want to reconsider. Now, what is the most appealing for yourself? So what are the topic that is important to you? Then which topic will be appealing for you to work on it for several months? And then which one we would like consider to develop in the future? Okay? So those are the things that you can consider on making your topic. So now I'm going to be talking about the rubric for A1. So in A1, for 7 and 8, state a learning goal and explain the connection between personal interest and that goal. So it means that what is your learning goal? So we have already stated what is your, or so we are already so we already stated what is our learning goal. And then I want you to think about how can you explain, okay? How can you explain what is your connection, your own personal interest, and that goal? So that is so important that you need to put into your whole heart and all of your interests and how you can sustain with them. So you can see that in 5, 6, 3, 4, you have described and outlined. So you need to make sure that you are able to explain to gather the highest points possible. So here is an example of the report from IB. So my learning goal and product. So it is detailed. What is the learning goal? What does the student wanted to do? And then what kind of product does the student wanted to make? So here is some example that you can work on. So here are the command terms: learning goal, product, present, state, outline, describe, and explain. These are the command terms that you need to understand and showcase throughout your personal project report. Okay. Okay. Throughout the process of your personal project, you are setting a goal and then developing a criteria. So what you want to learn, what you want to create, and what kind of product you want to feature in. And then next is to make a plan. So it means that from your success criteria, you are going to achieve or make a success criteria. And how are you going to make them? All right. Then you are going to evaluate the success criteria. Then you're going. Then you're going to create. Then you are going to evaluate your success. Then you are going to evaluate your goal and success criteria. So here, can I achieve those criteria in time? All right. And then what kind of resources do I need? Then afterwards to evaluate is to revise the goal if it's necessary. So please make sure that you have the process for this. So next we're going to talk about success criteria. So what does success criteria need to have? It needs to have testable, measurable, observable. So those are things that you need to consider in making a success criteria. Now, the success criteria needs to be evaluated the product. So at the end, you need to evaluate that your product is successful or not successful. And then what kind of impact you are going to demonstrate for yourself or to the community itself. So you have to evaluate the impact too. Here are some features for the product that you may want to consider. So product form and product content. Now, there are several types of success criteria. So one of them is SMART. So here is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So in the website, I have also provided some information about SMART. Now, so specific, what do I want to do and why do I want to do this? And measurable, how can I make sure that it is meeting the criteria? Okay. Achievable, how can my resources and ability meets this demand? And relevant, does this take my overall product better? Okay. And then time bound, it is should and time bound, will I be able to finish in those limited time? Here's another one, the Access FM. In our design classes, we have mentioned about Access FM. Now, here, Access FM means the aesthetic, the cost, customer, environment, size, safety, function, and material. So you may also want to consider with this. Okay. Here are an example of Access FM. Now, you can take out some of them if it's not going to be fitted in your product or your learning goal. So you can choose which one is important in your success criteria. Now, you need to specify what kind of product you need. Why do you need to do that? And how are you going to make sure to test them. Okay, so that is one of the important part of it. Here are some starter questions for the success criteria for Access FM. You may pause the video to look at them one by one. All right. All right. Here is another example of a success criteria. So you have form, function or purpose, user or audience, the cost, the environment consideration, and ethical consideration. So there are some questions that you may want to consider that I provided to you. You may fit some of them or all of them if it fits your learning goal or product. So you need to define the specification for this, like the Access FM, and then you need to also look into the test and method of evaluation. So here's the rubric for question A2. So it is about the intended for the product and the success criteria that we have mentioned. For 7 and 8, state their intended product. So you are going to tell what is your product about. And then you are going to present multiple appropriate detailed success criteria for the product. So it means that, for example, if you choose Access FM, you may choose all of them or most of them. If you are going to choose another success criteria, you need to have a lot of information or a lot of criteria for them, and then give detailed information, much detailed information, so that it is a successful product. Here is an example. This is the intended product. So saying that what kind of product you want to be creating, and then what is the success criteria. As much detail as possible, it is needed. So the last part of criterion A is creating an action plan. So based on your success criteria, learning goal, and product, how are you going to create a plan, a detailed plan in creating a successful product? Okay, so your plan needs to have a reflections and make sure that you are realistic in creating this one. And then the report should reflect about 25 hours. That's the maximum, okay? So I would suggest to plan them very carefully. When are you going to set them up? And then make a detail where you are going to do that. So make a timeline, generally a timeline, okay? There are several types of action plan that you can create. Here are some, okay? Here are some that you can work on, research on them, and then choose which one best fit for your project. The time needed for you to complete is 25 hours. All right. Make sure to record all the things that you need to complete and then put it in your action plan. Now, also consider what are the learning goals that you are going to be working on, the ATL skills that you are going to highlight in your report. Now, for example, if you struggle in time management, how are you going to look at it in the action plan? Are you going to highlight it? Are you going to develop it? All right. So there are different stages in your research that you can work on, so you can recall on what are the action plan also that we talk about in our MYP design cycle. Okay. So gathering evidence. So there are several ways that you can work with. So students can expect evidence that can process into your report. You can look into, or you can make a process journal, or you can make a folder out of it, or make a video, audio. All of them can be accumulated as your data, as your evidence. So make sure that you record them and make sure that you are organize them properly. I would suggest you put the I would suggest that to put your evidence in your Google Drive so that it is easier for you to manage and also organize. So if you do not have if you don't want to put it on Google Drive, you can put it on your computer, but make sure to folder it and not scatter all around on your computer. Now, here is an example of Gantt chart. So this is an action plan that you can work on. What are the steps, and then when are you going to accomplish them, and maybe you can highlight them, and then make a highlight bar out of it. So here is another one, an action plan. So what are the steps you're gonna do? What are the steps you're gonna be working on, and then which criteria or which success criteria you're going to be accomplishing them, and then what's your deadline for that. Another one is a logical action plan. So this one is more on step by step from start to finish. So what are the things that you are going to work on from your detailed work, okay, from start to finish, and then what are the things that you need, the connection with your success criteria, and then time needed for you to complete it, and then when is your deadline, okay? So this is the rubric. So detailed plan and connection to the success criteria. So it means you have a connection with the success criteria, okay, which is in A2. So for 7 and 8, you present a detailed plan. So with the planning itself, so you can put into the action plan, and then for achieving the product. So you make sure that you are working on the logical action plan, and then how you are going to be producing the product itself, and then all of it will need to be connected with your success criteria, so associated with your success criteria. So make sure that there is a concrete connection with your plan, and then your success criteria. All right, so here's an example. So this is the plan of a student of the student on how to create the action plan, and then here is the logical action plan that he created. Okay, I hope that you have gathered a lot of information to create a criterion A in planning. So there are a lot of things to do, to plan things and then to actually make them. Planning is essential. Okay, good luck, and I hope you have fun.